The Book of Expanded Deism, Chapters 27 and 28. This is part 14 of a 14-part series. The Book of Expanded Deism can be bought on Amazon.com. The Book of Expanded Deism was written by me, Jayson X, to help people be as sane, good, and happy as possible, now and always. To contact me, write to Jayson@Deism. My blog site is jaysonx.com. Chapter 23, The Book of Expanded Deism. Question 256. What is the Book of Expanded Deism? Answer 256. The Book of Expanded Deism is a book written by Jayson X in the 21st century CE. Question 257. What is the purpose of the Book of Expanded Deism and how should it be used? Answer 257. The purpose is to help people be as sane, good, and happy as possible, and it should be used according to the instructions in Chapter 28. Question 258. What can one do if one of the moral teachings of the Book of Expanded Deism is inappropriate for a child who is participating in the weekly reading to hear? Answer 258. That moral teaching can be partly or fully omitted when read aloud so that the reading is appropriate for the child to hear. However, nothing written in the Book of Expanded Deism should ever be changed because the book must always teach the same things, nothing more and nothing less. Once Jayson X dies, the book has reached its final form. Every edition of the Book of Expanded Deism will have the date of its completion on the cover. The newer the date, the better the book, unless the date or some other part of the book is improperly changed. Expanded Deists should live according to the newest version of the Book of Expanded Deism, not an older version. Question 259. How should the Book of Expanded Deism be interpreted? Answer 259. The Book of Expanded Deism should always be interpreted literally. It is designed to be as simple and understandable as possible. Therefore, it has no hidden messages. The divine and the meaning of life are mysterious enough without making a philosophy unnecessarily complicated. Question 260. What should happen if someone purposefully changes the true meaning of the Book of Expanded Deism by adding written material to it or taking written material from it? Answer 260. He or she should not call her or himself an expanded deist, nor should his or her book be called the Book of Expanded Deism. Question 261. What should she or he call his or her book and philosophy? Answer 261. It is acceptable to call a modified book of expanded deism something like the Modified Book of Expanded Deism. Likewise, it is acceptable to call the philosophy something like Modified Expanded Deism. The important thing is that new versions of Expanded Deism distinguish themselves from each other and the original version of Expanded Deism. Question 262. Why is it important that new versions of Expanded Deism distinguish themselves from each other and the original version of Expanded Deism? Answer 262. The pursuit of truth requires clarity and honesty. Clarity means making things as easy to understand as possible, and honesty means accepting reality as much as one can. Distinguishing different versions of Expanded Deism makes the truth more clear and is honest. Question 263. What are traditions? Answer 263. Traditions are customs developed in the past which are used to guide present situations. Because we humans are creatures of habit, we often develop traditions. Question 264. What traditions can expanded deists follow? Answer 264. Those traditions which promote expanded deism are good and may be kept, but those traditions which obscure or work against expanded deism are evil and should be abandoned. Question 265. Why should there be very few traditions associated with expanded deism? Answer 265. The focus of expanded deism should be on the teachings of expanded deism, not on the traditions which might develop around the philosophy. Question 266. Should the Book of Expanded Deism be translated into other languages, including different versions of English? Answer 266. Yes. One of the most important goals of an expanded deist is to help others be as sane, good, and happy as possible, and translating the Book of Expanded Deism will help accomplish that goal. Preserving a literary work or tradition is not one of the most important goals of an expanded deist, although an expanded deist is allowed to do these things if she or he wishes. Question 267. How should the Book of Expanded Deism be translated? Answer 267. It should be a relatively literal translation, sound correct and natural to the ones who know the language best, and correctly convey the important teachings of the original writing. If one must choose between a very literal translation that does not convey important teachings and a less literal translation that does, one should choose the latter, because the meaning is more important than the words. When possible, a translation should be made directly from an original copy of the Book of Expanded Deism, which was written in 21st century American English. Question 268. Why should a translation be made directly from an original copy? Answer 268. Something important is almost always lost in a translation, so a translation from a translation is usually worse than a translation from an original. Chapter 28. Instructions for the weekly reading. The weekly reading is when a chapter of the Book of Expanded Deism is read in accordance with the weekly rotation of readings. The following is written to explain why and how the Book of Expanded Deism should be read every week. The Book of Expanded Deism precisely expresses an excellent philosophy, perhaps the best philosophy ever written for helping people to be as sane, good, and happy as possible. The book quickly and adequately teaches helpful lessons on epistemology, theology, morality, politics, economics, and expanded deism. The universe would be a better place if every human, 7 years and older, read it as suggested below. Every 7 days, expanded deists should read one chapter of the Book of Expanded Deism slowly and audibly to teach or reteach them about their philosophy. Reading something slowly and audibly helps people understand it better. The first week, expanded deists should read chapter 1. The second week, they should read chapter 2, and so on and so forth until they read the last chapter. Then they should start the whole process over the next week. If one person is reading by him or herself, she or he should read both the questions and their answers. If two people are reading with each other, one should read the questions and the other should read the answers. If more than two people are reading with each other, only one should read each answer after the rest of the readers read each question in one slow, united voice. In any case, those reading and or listening should be as polite, respectful, and attentive as possible. There are 4 exceptions to these rules. 1. When a group of people are reading chapter 28, only one person should read it while the other person or persons listen, because the reading will be much more efficient and pleasant that way. 2. When a group of people are reading the rules of virtue, for example, Rule 1, do not murder, the group should read the moral rule together, slowly and audibly, and then one person should read the explanation to the group. 3. When a group of people are reading the Universal List of Human Rights, one person should read the introductory paragraph, and the even-numbered rights to the other person or persons, and the other person or person should read the odd-numbered rights slowly and audibly. If there are other persons, they should also read the odd-numbered rights in one unified voice. 4. If there is a group of people, all of Chapter 1 should be read by the group in one slow, united voice. The following prayer should be read aloud before the chapter is read at the weekly reading, if there is only one person. The weekly reading prayer for one person. Glory to you, Divine, the Creator and Ruler of the universe. I thank you for all good things, including the ability to read and understand this book. Please grant that I will be kind to everyone, pray with proper reverence, read with understanding, and speak with wisdom. May I do all things for your glory, my perfection, and the perfection of everyone else. Amen. The following prayer should be read aloud in one unified voice by all who are gathered before the chapter is read at the weekly reading, if there is more than one person. The weekly reading prayer for more than one person. Glory to you, Divine, the Creator and Ruler of the universe. We thank you for all good things, including the ability to read and understand this book. Please grant that we will be kind to everyone, pray with proper reverence, read and listen with understanding, and speak with wisdom. May we do all things for your glory, our perfection, and the perfection of everyone else. Amen. The weekly reading should conclude in the following way. If just one person is reading, he or she should take a moment to think about the chapter she or he just read. If only 2 people are reading, the leader should ask, "Do you have any questions or comments about the chapter we just read?" If more than 2 people are reading, the leader should ask, "Does anyone have any questions or comments about the chapter we just read?" If 2 or more people are reading, a helpful discussion on expanded deism is likely to follow. No one has to stay for this discussion, though. People may leave when they want. Lastly, I considered writing an appendix to this book to give expanded deists ideas about how to conduct their marriage, divorce, and funeral services. But I thought that such an addition might make expanded deism seem more like a religion than a philosophy. A philosophy is a system of beliefs which is based on reason. Simply speaking, a religion is a system of beliefs which is not based on reason. It is based on mythology and tradition. Reason is a much better guide for living than mythology and tradition, at least in most cases. Suffice it to say that expanded deists can do whatever services they want to mark important events in life, as long as those services are reasonable, compassionate, and hopeful. Thank you for watching and/or reading this video. Please tell as many people as you are willing about it.